today's video is some lovely travel quotes to inspire you to travel. Let's begin. The first one is by Anthony Bourdain. He was a famous chef. Sadly, he died, but he travelled a lot. He has a very famous travel series, and yeah, it's amazing. And it says, travel changes you. As you move through this life and this world, you change things slightly. You leave marks behind, however small, and in return, life and travel leaves marks on you. Beautiful. The second one is also from Anthony Bourdain, and it is, it seems that the more places I see and experience, the bigger I realise the world to be. Which is lovely as well. Okay, the next one is from Mark Twain. He's a famous writer, and he says, travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness, and many of our people need it sorely on those accounts. So yeah, travelers can teach us some important things, guys. Okay, so the next few are from some cartoons. I realise I always reference really intellectual things, which isn't very accessible. And I didn't like that, so I wanted to do some more cartoon, just like more childish stuff, because I am also a child at heart, and I'm sure you are too. So this is from Tangled, and it is, venture outside your comfort zone, the rewards are worth it. So yeah, that applies a lot to travel, doesn't it? Maybe go to a place that you don't know much about, or a place that maybe you don't feel as comfortable in, but you could learn lots. Another one from Pocahontas is, if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew you never knew. So yeah, broadens your horizons. This one, I love it, it's from Shrek, it's one of my favourite films. You know, donkey, things are more than what they seem. I guess that one isn't directly related to travel, but I think travel helps you to see that, you know, things aren't as they seem, and maybe things that you thought were one way are actually another way. So yeah, it's good for opening your mind a bit. Okay, next one is, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. That's from George Harrison, who was a member of the Beatles. And I love that one because sometimes we don't know where we're going, especially when we're travelling. But that doesn't mean that there's not a path that can take us to a place. It just means maybe we're not sure of it, but it does exist. And yeah, it speaks about just doing things even if you don't already have all the answers or know exactly all of the things that you think you need to know. You don't actually need to know them. The next one is from Euripides, whom I think was a Greek playwright. Don't quote me on that. Experience, travel, these are as education in themselves. So, you know, even the ancient Greeks were speaking about this stuff and recognised that it was important. The next one is from Charles Dickens, who I read recently, and it was amazing. He said, the most important thing in life is to stop saying I wish and to start saying I will. So yeah, if you're thinking about travelling but you've been wishing about it for a while, now's the time to actually knuckle down and take the plunge, decide to do it. Okay, the next one is from Alain de Botton. Probably pronounced that wrong, I'm sorry. He's like a modern philosopher. I haven't read much of him, but I like these. One says, journeys are the midwives to thought. And I agree with that, because whenever I'm on a train, I always just feel like I can think so much more clearly. And if you didn't know, J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter, who makes me very proud of being British, because I just think the message of Harry Potter is so lovely. She actually came up with the idea of Harry Potter on a train. So yeah, I'm sure going on journeys gives us lots of cool thoughts. Okay, so I love this one. This is again from Alain de Botton. He says, "See how small you are next to mountains. Accept what is bigger than you and what you do not understand. The world may appear illogical to you, but it does not follow that it is illogical per se. Our life is not the measure of all things. Consider sublime places as a reminder of human insignificance and frailty." And yeah, I think it's true, like when you're looking at some beautiful piece of nature and you kind of like you realize how small you are, and I think that kind of like makes you more empathetic, and there's a lot of that in traveling. You're going to these like amazing natural places, and there's that quietude and time to reflect and think about how big the world really is and what part you want to play in it. Okay. Now I've got some ones related to empathy, because I think traveling really teaches empathy in people. So, empathy is about finding echoes of another person in yourself. And I think that happens a lot in traveling, like you go and speak to somebody who's from a completely different country to you, whatever, and then you realise that we're actually all very similar. This is one from another man. I don't know who Mohsin Hamad was, the one of the previous quote. I know that Henry David Thoreau is a philosopher, which I haven't read, but I like this quote. "Could a greater miracle take place than for us to look through each other's eye for an instant?" And wow, I mean, that's powerful. And I think the world would be a better place if we actually took the time to think about how our actions would affect others, and maybe not just justify our actions because they benefit us. And yeah. I like this one. This is from Barack Obama. "Learning to stand in somebody else's shoes, to see through their eyes, that's how peace begins. And it's up to you to make that happen. Empathy is a quality of character that can change the world." I always thought Barack Obama was so eloquent in the way that he spoke, and I also think, he's just got really good values, so I love that one. Okay, so this one again is from Anthony Bourdain, the guy I mentioned at the beginning. This is directly related to travelling. So this says, "I'm a big believer in winging it while you're travelling. I'm a big believer that you're never going to find the perfect city travel experience or the perfect meal without a constant willingness to experience a bad one. Letting the happy accident happen is what a lot of vacation itineraries miss. I think, and I'm always trying to push people to allow these things to happen, rather than stick to some rigid itinerary." And that speaks about what I've said in a previous video about like, don't be too rigid with your itinerary, go with the flow, see where things take you. Okay, and I've left the best till last. This was a quote that was in the hostel that I volunteered in Mexico, hostel that really changed my life. And this poem was in the toilet, and I like the way that they positioned it there because it's a good moment. I mean, everybody's thinking a lot on the toilet, and it's just perfectly encapsulates travelling. I'm gonna kind of like translate this at the same time, so bear with me. To travel is to leave home. It's to leave friends. It's to try to fly. To fly, getting to know other branches. To go over new roads is to try to change. To travel is to dress like a crazy man. It's to say, I don't care. It's to want to return. To return, valuing the little, savouring a glass, it's to wish to start. To travel is to feel like you're a poet. It's to write a letter. It's to want to hug. To hug at the arrival, to hug upon arriving at a door. Looking for calmness is to let yourself kiss and be kissed. To travel is to become more worldly, is to get to know other people, is to return to the start. To start by holding out your hands, learning lots of strong things, and it's to feel solitude. To travel is to leave home. It's to dress like a crazy man, saying everything and nothing with a card. It's to live in another bed and feel that time is short. To travel is to return. Bloody hell, that is amazing. I just really, really love that poem, and it speaks a lot about all of the varied experiences of traveling and feelings, and wow, how powerful. And yeah, I'm going to end that video here because I have a habit of rambling on, and hopefully those thoughts have really inspired your travel. I'm going to try and, maybe leave some of the stuff in the description, and also try and put it alongside the video so that you can really take it in both visually and audibly. And yeah, I hope that you found this video useful. I really hope that it inspired you to travel and to help you justify it. I think a lot of people don't travel because they feel like, is this really going to be a worthwhile experience? Shouldn't I be doing more sensible things like, working or whatever? But travel is a valuable experience. It's a valuable experience for your soul. It teaches you so much. Honestly, it's like, I don't know, it just like, I can't even express in words how valuable it is and how much I think you should do it and consider it. So yeah, enough of me rambling. I hope you have a lovely day. I hope you have a lovely week. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye!